Hi guys, and welcome to course week 12. Today I'm alone. Mats is all busy with examinations in a different course, and so is Diego, also busy with the new course that's starting now in, I think, is operating systems. So today is all me, not only at the stand-up, but also in workshops. We have some updates about the assignment 2. The first update that is really good for many and was something we worked on last week is extended deadline. So now deadline is not on this Friday, but the Friday after that. So both GitLab milestones and the time-aged schedule should be updated, and we try to update you on Slack about this. So hopefully now a little bit less stress about assignment 2. And today in the afternoon, our regular handledning time, we're gonna do a more structured workshop about assignment 2. Some of you also requested it being recorded, which I'm gonna do to the best of my abilities. I think instead I'm gonna make short videos answering like most often occurring questions. So things you wrote in Slack, you still have a chance to write your question there in a recent post, and things that like people come to me and ask. I think it would be difficult to make a good recording at the actual workshop, but we can try to record from Zoom and just make it available for internally for us. So I will do my best. Then if we just look at it again, so assignment 2 is Just Ask It app with notifications. The goals of it, once again, is demonstrating that you can implement asynchronous communication between services, that you understand concepts of microservices and how to scale them in Kubernetes, and managing load with the load balancer, and that you can implement persistent storage and session management. And the last bit is then the fully automated CI/CD pipeline. So these are the goals. What this is not is we are not doing database scaling over several pods. If you noticed, we haven't even touched like the chapters of the course literature about data management on Kubernetes. So the setup that is included for MongoDB in the example app is enough for this assignment, which is basically, it's already in the configuration, there's already present the persistent volume claim. It's already set up to have everything that you need for the database. So don't overcomplicate it. If you just use that is perfectly fine for assignment 2. Then if you want an extra challenge, you can start thinking about this. You can start reading course literature a little bit forward and start looking up how to scale MongoDB over several pods as well, and use MongoDB sharding. But it is not a requirement for this assignment. It will come later in the group project. The same thing is with the queue and this pattern of asynchronous communication. We're only using single receiver. So we have only notification service that is getting things out of the queue, and only the task service that is posting to the queue. So pretty simple setup. And the focus here is that this is the first time, at least in the terms of job program, right, that you come in contact with asynchronous communication. So we again start simple. But again, if you want an extra challenge, you can try to look up multiple receivers pattern. And one of my suggestions was that on top of notification service, you can connected with, like, for instance, a recommendation engine, or some other mini assignment, mini service that you have in Web Intelligence course. So that way you can start thinking how you would extend this assignment for your group project again. And if you have time, it's perfectly fine to submit it and slightly more extended. We are also not doing service mesh architecture in this assignment, but it is mentioned on CoursePress. So this is Istio managing load. We only have load balancer, and it's already implemented. So don't overcomplicate what you don't need to overcomplicate. And then today on the workshops, we'll talk more about asynchronous communication. What I also want to mention here is that I think most of you already started from the first from continuous delivery. So if you haven't, please do that. Make sure that this is working, because this will be crucial for when you collaborate on your group project. And it's crucial for understanding also here, because it will save you a lot of time if you set it up right. There were some questions about staging and production. So in the Docker example that you have on CoursePress, using different instances, and one is for staging and one is for production. To implement this properly in Kubernetes, what is normally done, like in real life projects, is that you basically create a completely different separate cluster. Completely different basically instance of a whole cluster. This again is not something that you must do in assignment 2. But think already now how you're going to do it in a group project, because for the group project, the requirement is that you test your app first on staging before production. So this is a very common setup in real life companies, and there were some questions on why that is happening, and why just not push to production. Is that, like, basically the apps that we're working with here, you're the only user, right? And often, like, you don't I guess you haven't tried to see how this is if you implement the website that users are using. But if you're rolling out a new feature, you probably can't just push it out to users directly before you test it fully. And yes, this is on staging, is also the completely replicated environment of how it looks in production. So it's a chance for all the integration tests, all the automated tests to run properly. So you make sure that your new implementations, your new features are stable enough before you push them out to production. Now, if we talk assignment 2, that here again is just enough if you go from this development source control. Not even continuous integration is a must in assignment 2, but if you if you have time, that is good to run and build, so implement the tests for your app as well. Again, optional, but continuous deployment is not optional. Configuration management is also a must. So that's what we already have in the example app, and then that you release it to production. Now the all the instructions are updated on CoursePress, so now that should work. One thing that is still for us not automated, if I remove this and I try to present CoursePress. So this here, no orchestration. So this is all updated. We've run through it several times. Here, when you come to set up ingress controller with Helm, and then you configure load balancer, to receive traffic from it, so your app is available online. This is the only sort of manual step, and this is one of the things that I want you to think potentially to automate as well. There was a question like, oh, is this just a stepping stone? And yes, of course, like if you have a fully automated pipeline, then this step should also be automated. However, this only becomes an issue if you do tear down the whole infrastructure and then have to build it up again. So the step you don't have to do when you just push updates for the app. So this is a little bit up to you how you want to do it. And yes, it is possible to to automate, and Helm can also be added to your CI/CD pipeline. Now, Helm also has a lot more features like Helm charts to generate this YAML configurations, and it is widely used for automation. We are just doing like the basics here, but this is like an right now an optional step, and again probably becomes more and more important for when you work on what you say, on a group project. You can also look at this like other non-functional requirements. Let's see if I can open that. There, right? At the stage. So these things that are non-functional requirements for the group project. So you can already think a little bit now that you're working with Kubernetes in assignment 2, what awaits in the next step. So there you would have to have production environment and staging environment, which is either implemented by a namespace in within your cluster or a completely separate cluster instances. There you would need to do replication of the database. Deployment pipeline, similar branching strategy, and testing is also a must. And these things are still optionals. So when you do assignment 2, you can already think about these things in terms of automation. So this is what I wanted to say now. Then in the afternoon, and we will talk a little bit more about other things. Yeah. So this last thing I wanted to say then, in terms of automation, we are using YAML configurations, which is like the base layer. Then if you want to go forward with this and become more comfortable with Helm and using that in CI/CD pipeline, then you need to look up Helm charts and how Helm is used to automatically generate and maintain Kubernetes configurations. And then the one step further is CDK 8S, so which is also often used together with Helm for even more advanced pipelines. So this I will share the slides, of course. And yeah, this is absolutely not a must, but there were a lot of questions. Okay, how is this used in real life and so on? So there are basically software engineers that are just specializing in writing pipelines, and maybe sometimes it's called DevOps. Sometimes it's the backend engineers that are focusing on this. But yeah, there's a lot more here, and a lot more that you can explore. But again, this is not maybe the main focus of the course. However, very good skills to obtain as well. But this is what I wanted to say more about pipelines. Yeah, so in the afternoon, we'll talk a bit more about abstraction patterns and like how the whole sort of cluster anatomy fits in the project. Then in terms of queues, this I will, yes. There's one question here. Can we use a JavaScript library for the queue? No. Basically, the idea, I mean, potentially you can talk to me like what library you want to use, but the reason why I use RabbitMQ here is because you need to implement this pattern of communication between the microservices through a different service. So in this case, RabbitMQ would be another microservice that is handling this communication. So instead of the what we are used to, you have client maybe and microservice and the request response pattern, which is basically an API. Usually that's what we did in 027 course. Yeah, REST API, or if it's gRPC, if it's GraphQL, this is how it normally looks like. This is figure 2.1 from the course literature. And now we are going one step further and we're putting this middleman. Then you don't have to use RabbitMQ. You can try Kafka, you can try whatever other message broker that you like. But the idea is that we have a middleman that is receiving things and asynchronously then dequeuing happens by the consumer. So this is yeah, this is it. And then in the afternoon, let's talk a bit more about why that is good, and I'll try to prepare some more material and record about that as well. So yes, that would be it. See you in the afternoon. Let's see how we deploy. So you remove this. Can we deploy RabbitMQ using Helm manually, or should it be automated through a CI/CD pipeline? I would say automated, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult for you to test. So it's not difficult to add it to the pipeline that you already have, because you will just add another YAML configuration and apply with kubectl command. So add it to the pipeline. So any more questions? Not yet. Let's see, just gonna try to show it again if you didn't see. Present stop screen, present share screen. Let's see here. Window. Here then, these are the important message. I maybe can pin it. So if you have any more questions for the afternoon about assignment 2, please let me know. Some of them, if it's quick, I just answer directly, or they will be then addressed at the workshop, and I try to make short videos about it as well. And please do let me know, like in Slack as well, like how many people that maybe would like to go to the workshop but can't today because of the exam. So I know, I think it's also very, in general, very important, like if you want, if you have some kind of workload from the other courses and you have some other problems, basically let me know in Slack. Don't be afraid. Sort of, we can be flexible with stuff. But yeah, now basically there is a slight adjustment of this deadline, but we will still have the other workshop on. It will be on working in a team, working in a software engineering team on Tuesday, which help you prepare for starting to work on a group project. So that's why I'm now trying already to introduce you to some things that will be important for the group project. So I want you to think about it already now when you're working on A2, so we don't just lag behind because of other things that happened. around. Yes, so that's it. Let's see you on campus if you're there in the afternoon. Otherwise, I will be online as well. And we teaching assistants are also available between 1 o'clock and 1 and 3 o'clock. So we'll get through this together. all the queuing and all the readies. So yeah, talk to you soon. Bye bye.